Bracing for change, the impact of proposed tariffs. In the ever-evolving arena of global trade, the introduction of tariffs can have far-reaching repercussions. Newly elected President Donald Trump's proposed tariffs, including a 20% duty on all imported foods and beverages and a hefty 60% on imports from China, could dramatically reshape the U.S. food and beverage industry. It's crucial to understand how these tariffs could affect importers, distributors, retailers, consumers, and what proactive measures category managers should take to navigate this challenging landscape. Importers form an important base of the food supply chain. According to the FDA, about $150 billion of the total U.S. food supply is imported, and the implementation of these tariffs would significantly raise the cost of imported goods. Importers might initially absorb some costs to maintain their competitive edge, but over time, the price increases will inevitably flow downstream to distributors, retailers, and to shoppers. The larger 60% tariff on Chinese imports would exponentially escalate these costs, especially on fresh and processed fruits and vegetables, apple juice, garlic, spices, tea, and shrimp. Of the approximately $501 billion in China exports to the U.S., in 2023, fish accounted for over $1.3 billion. Animal and vegetable oils, $850 million. Vegetable, fruit, and nuts, another $1.3 billion. China actually accounts for more than 80% of the garlic production globally and is the world's largest producer and exporter of concentrated apple juice and supplies 2/3 of the apple juice here in the U.S. This tariff could make imports from China financially untenable. Retailers who have recently come under fire and scrutiny for high prices are at the front line of consumer interaction and are likely to face immediate challenges as tariffs trickle down to shelf prices. The tariffs could also compel retailers to rethink their product offerings. A commitment to promoting domestic goods may become a reality, but this transition requires careful consideration and strategic planning and takes time. Retailers could also experience initial stock shortages as they adjust to new supply agreements, an issue that could put added strain on customer loyalty if popular items become unavailable. Retailers must also prepare for potential backlash from consumers who are uninformed about the reasons behind these price hikes, undermining the efforts of those retailers trying to help their shoppers. For consumers, the most visible effect of these tariffs will be inflated prices at checkout. Imported items ranging from specialty cheeses and wines to everyday groceries will become noticeably even more expensive than they are today. As food prices rise, consumers' purchasing patterns will shift. Good news for store brands as they start favoring budget-friendly buys over luxury imports and pushing the market basket value downward. Yes, all this could stimulate the growth of local producers, but the question is whether or not these producers could meet the demand for supply and how quickly. And a big if they can produce as cheaply as, say, China, or if they can meet the quality standards of a cheese from Italy or a jam from France. Category managers at both retail and CPG will play a pivotal role in navigating these tumultuous changes. Category managers are responsible for curating product assortments and driving sales and must prepare strategically for this possible landscape. Here's what needs to be done. Review existing product lines to identify which items and ingredients are imported and could be heavily impacted by the tariffs. Determine the profitability of these products and consider replacing or diversifying with more domestically sourced items. Strengthen relationships with existing suppliers and explore new partnerships to ensure a steady flow of product. Explore local producers or smaller distributors that can offer competitive pricing to fill in the gaps from these reduced imports. Analyze inventory needs critically, focusing on products most susceptible to tariff impacts. Strategic preemptive stocking of essential and in-demand items can buffer against initial shortages and price spikes that could drive away shoppers. Implement dynamic pricing strategies to adapt to fluctuating costs quickly and manage shelf prices effectively without alienating customers. Start now to promote and display domestic products that steer consumer behavior favorably and balance the need to maintain margins while you retrain shoppers' choices. Now, here's the hardest part. How do we explain all this to shoppers? There will no doubt be a ton of news reports, some controversial, but it will be critical for your voice to be heard. Use in-store signage, newsletters, and digital platforms to inform consumers about the reasons behind these price changes without getting political as best you can. Highlight the value of supporting domestic producers and the benefit that it brings to the local economy. Equip frontline staff with information and talking points regarding the tariffs so that they can adequately address customer inquiries. The speed at which these tariffs could impact the market depends on the timing of their implementation and the existing inventory cycles. Importers and distributors may experience immediate cost pressures, while retailers and consumers might see gradual changes as the existing stock is sold and replaced with the newly priced goods. The possible tariffs assumed by Trump on imported foods and beverages present a complex challenge to the U.S. food industry. Importers, distributors, retailers, and consumers each have critical roles to play in adapting to this new economic landscape. Adapting to these potential tariffs, though challenging, also presents an opportunity for the U.S. food industry to bolster its self-sufficiency and sustainability, while fostering closer ties between producers, retailers, and consumers. Yes, there will be even more consumer confusion and price increases, hopefully just temporarily while we adjust supply. What we must do to ensure the U.S. ability to thrive is to create an increasingly complex global trade food environment.